Hey friends, how's it going? Today I'm recapping Tell Me What You Want, the 2024 Spanish romantic drama based on the best-selling novel by Megan Maxwell. It follows a driven data analyst who gets pulled into an unexpected and complicated relationship with her company's CEO and comes out the other side knowing herself far better than she did going in. So, let's break down everything that happens. We open with Judith Flores in the middle of an unsatisfying hookup with her ex, Fernando. She narrates directly to us, introducing herself with dry candor. Her sex life, she admits, has left a lot to be desired, but she is about to tell us a story about how that changed. Love and pleasure have never been her priorities. Her priority is becoming the youngest account executive in the history of Mueller Pharmaceutics, the pharmaceutical company where she works as a data analyst. She is good at her job, she knows it, and she is focused. Everything else can wait. At the office, her boss Monica drops a pile of work on her desk and heads out to dinner with Miguel, the colleague who sits next to Judith and who has been inviting her to beers she never accepts. Judith stays late and alone, finishes the quarterly branch office project Monica wanted, and leaves it on her desk. On the way out, she spots Monica and Miguel together in the parking lot, standing close in a way that is not quite professional. She stops and watches for a beat longer than she should. Something flickers through her, a curiosity she cannot name. Then she goes home and spends the night resting, calmer than expected. The next morning, the elevator stops mid-floor during a power cut. A man is inside with her. Judith admits she is not good in confined spaces and begins to get anxious. The man steps close, holds her gently, and kisses her on the cheek to distract her. The power returns. They ride to their floor. When they step out into the office, Monica greets him warmly and introduces him as Eric Zimmerman, the CEO of the company, the same man Judith had been pressed against in a broken elevator minutes earlier. Judith keeps her face neutral. Monica pulls her aside. The branch project is being redone. Eric did not like it. It needs to be back on his desk by tonight. Judith, who worked until midnight on it, swallows her disappointment and stays late again. When she finishes and is heading out, she hears sounds from Monica's office and glances in. She sees Monica and Miguel. She stands in the corridor watching for longer than she probably should, feeling something she cannot explain. Then Eric appears behind her, asks if she enjoys watching, and tells her that breaking rules is where real pleasure lies. He compliments her, plays with her hair, and invites her to dinner the following night at 8. Judith tells him she does not go on dates with her boss and leaves. The next morning, he shows up at her apartment door with no warning. She refuses. He says he made a mistake coming and turns to leave. Something about the rejection bothers Judith in a way she did not expect, and she calls him back. Tells him to wait downstairs while she gets ready. She tries on several outfits. Takes longer than she would like to admit. They drive to a restaurant in his car, and when she spots it, she cannot help herself. She has always wanted to drive a Porsche. He asks if she thinks she could handle it. She tells him she could make it fly. Over dinner, Eric orders for her and feeds her his favorite dishes. Unfamiliar things, some of which she admits she likes and some she does not. But the honesty is refreshing. They lean closer. He kisses her. She does not resist. Judith gets up and leaves immediately. Eric comes to her apartment the next day to apologize. He says his games may not be what she is looking for, and that he genuinely likes her. As he starts to go, Judith stops him. How does he know what she is looking for? They spend Sunday together, walking dogs at a shelter where he volunteers, getting mud on his expensive suit, and talking easily. At his home that evening, he plays one of her favorite songs. He offers her a game. She agrees to follow his instructions for the evening. He blindfolds her. When he shows her the recording afterward, she realizes another woman was present in the room without her knowledge or consent. Judith is furious. She confronts him, calls him a spoiled rich kid who has fought for nothing and earned nothing, and threatens to report him before walking out. At work the following day, Monica tells Judith that Eric wants someone to accompany him on a business trip to visit the Barcelona branch offices. Judith declines, still angry. She goes home to find her cat, Kuro, unwell. She rushes him to the vet. He cannot be saved. Eric arrives at her door while she is still in pieces, and she runs to him and cries. He stays the night and makes her breakfast in the morning. Seeing this side of him, she agrees to travel, but sets clear terms. Nothing between them on the trip. Eric agrees. They board his private jet. On the road to Zahara for the weekend afterward, Eric receives a call from someone named Betta and ignores it. Judith notices the name on the screen and asks who it is. He deflects at first. Then, somewhere between songs on the car radio, he tells her, An ex, 2 years together, until he came home one day and found her in bed with his father. He ended both relationships simultaneously and has not spoken to either of them since. It is the most honest thing he has said to her about his own life, and Judith hears the weight behind it. They arrive at a house in Zahara owned by his friends Frida and Andreas, a couple together 8 years, with a child, who have built a relationship that separates intimacy and emotion into something workable for them. Judith finds their honesty disarming. Frida is the same woman from the earlier video, and she apologizes directly to Judith. The meeting softens something. That night there is a party, a large, glamorous event with a black and white dress code and the kind of guest list that includes celebrities Judith recognizes from novels she has read. She is delighted and slightly overwhelmed. She and Eric share close, tender moments through the evening. But the next morning she wakes at Frida's house with no memory of how the night ended. Eric is already gone. No note, no message, no goodbye. She calls him. Not available. She calls again. Nothing. She makes her way home, breaks her phone on the floor, and begins the slow work of trying to move forward. She joins a boxing gym, working through the anger and hurt with her fists, and with a new friend named Rebecca, a sparring partner who turns into something more like a confidant. The gym is a good place to be. Back at the office, Monica calls her in. She is being promoted to the finance department, the goal Judith has been pursuing since she started at the company 3 years ago. The promotion comes from Monica directly, she makes that clear, on the basis of merit and consistency and years of impeccable work, not as a favor, not because of any connection to anyone, on her own terms. Judith is genuinely, quietly moved, but she is not over Eric. When she runs into him in the elevator at the office, she ignores him. He follows her. Outside her door, he announces, loudly enough for the building to hear, that he loves her and will embarrass himself completely if she does not let him in. She lets him in. He tells her he went to Germany, to his family, to think. He never expected to fall in love. He is scared by what he feels. He asks her to be his girlfriend. Judith tells him she does not trust him, but she gives him the chance to prove she should. They begin again, quieter and closer this time. He stays over. He learns she snores lightly and finds it endearing in a way that surprises him. One morning, lying in bed, she proposes they try something. She wants to be the one in control for once, to do to him what he has done to her, to give rather than receive, to discover what it feels like to set the rules. Eric resists. Losing control is not comfortable for him. She talks him around with some patience and a certain amount of logic. He always said you have to be willing to experiment to find out what you like. What she has arranged as a surprise turns out to be Beta, the ex, appearing in the room. Eric reacts furiously. Judith realizes who Beta is. Beta, on her way out, makes sure Judith understands. She and Eric have history that runs deeper than a few weeks of dating. The implication lands. Eric is left trying to explain. Judith has seen enough. She submits her resignation. When Monica reads it, she offers to fire her instead so she can collect severance pay. Judith declines. She says she needs to stay away from money for a while. Monica smiles the smile of someone who completely understands. Judith narrates the ending herself, looking back. She never expected to fall the way she did. Eric was not ready to be loved in a way that was uncomplicated, and she could not keep absorbing the cost of that. She set her own terms throughout. And when those terms were repeatedly crossed, she chose herself. She walks out of the office and into whatever comes next. The film ends.